Welcome to Running on Reddit, r/AskReddit, where people ask their most thought-provoking questions and are answered back with interesting responses. AskReddit. What are red flags in a friendship most people brush away? That's what I call walking on eggshells. No matter what you say or do, you always start sweating and think to yourself, should I say/do this? I hate that feeling. When you hang out with them, it feels like you're defusing a bomb when there's nothing going on right then. This hit me. I'm currently in a relationship where I worry about every little thing I'm going to say because I'm afraid of getting him angry. He is not violent, but when he's angry he isolates himself, and I feel so alone and guilty. It sounds like he's gaslighting you. He may not know that's what he's doing, but that's what it is. My ex was like this. Every time I raised a valid point, I was some variation of hurtful, cold, or excessively critical. I would be berated to the point of apologizing for not understanding whatever he was going through, regardless of what I was going through. Every request for help around the house, etc., would end with me apologizing after him blowing up. If when you don't want sex he gets upset, even if he is free to reject you for whatever reason, because you're cold or emotionally unavailable, he's manipulating you there too. If he uses lines like, I accept you despite, insert litany of faults here, why can't you accept me? He is gaslighting you. Constant criticism to make you seem unlovable to any but him. Cutting you off to make you worry and chase him to distract from the fact that he is at fault. If he tells you that, you're the reason I act this way, guess what? He's gaslighting you. If any of this rings true, and you feel you have to hide or change so many aspects of yourself that you are losing sight of who you are to keep him happy, ducking run. A healthy relationship does not leave you feeling alone and guilty. A lesson I had to learn the hard way. A partner does not have to be violent to be abusive. Psychological and emotional abuse are very real, damaging things, and can take years to recover from. Friends that only care to talk about their own success and aren't genuinely happy for you and yours unless it amounts to less than their own. Really jealous and possessive friends. I'm a jealous person by nature, and even though my jealousy flares up when I see my friends hanging out with other people, I would never let them know. Why? Because I don't want them to feel bad about doing the things they love. For instance, having a social life outside my little world. If a person tries to box you up because they want you all to themselves, it's not a proof of love or companionship. True love, in any kind of relationship like friends, family, lovers, is shown by respect and allowing the other person to have free will. Continually feeling like you want to say something, but should hold your tongue. You see you got a private message from them, and your gut reaction is to start getting nervous or anxious. What is it this time? Friends who gossip excessively. If they are talking about other people, chances are they are talking about you. And people that send you screenshots of private messages with other people. Guess what? Your private messages are being sent around too. Being dismissive of all your interests and achievements. Meanwhile everything they do, no matter how mundane, is amazing. And then you bring this issue up, and they give BS reasons, like it's hard for me to care about something I don't know about, or even further, you're being sensitive/erratic/emotional, and you just sit there thinking, I'm sure glad I still attentively listened to all those times you bored me with your financial spreadsheets you made to decide what car you would buy. Always asking for favors, but never there when you need them to return one. Yeah, a friendship is a two-way street, and ones that only go one way are not healthy. One up of friends. I just had this 2 hours ago. I was shopping, and a cute girl just said hi while walking by. Just a hi made my day, and so I was telling my friend about it. He said, nice, and then told me how yesterday a sexy co-worker just comes to him and kisses him. Reason, she just wanted to. This was kinda the moment I realized he is full of cow excrements. Friends that don't let you have any other friends and require 100% of your time when they can't give you the same. If you like the content and want to support the channel, like and subscribe right now, or you'll be running on fumes. My husband and I used to be friends with a woman that demanded we hang out every Monday for trivia and Friday at the bar, and would try to get me to hang out with her at least one additional day every week. I don't even see my own family or my actual best friend that often. Mondays were usually fine because trivia was fun, but the Friday bar nights got really expensive and were often boring. She texted me all day too, so we never had anything to talk about, and we'd sit around in awkward silence on our phones a lot of the time. Sometimes we had fun together, but a lot of the times it felt like a chore. So we started trying to get out of Friday nights, and she would get so mad at us that my husband and I would fight over which of us was going to tell her. If we said we weren't going, she would want a reason, and if she would send a ton of angry texts if she didn't think the reason was good enough. Oh, you're tired? Poor baby. I'm running on 3 hours of sleep and I'm still going out. We finally set boundaries and told her we weren't going out on Fridays anymore and we would only go to trivia once a month. She pouted that she would never see us. Like, Dumby head, I'm not your girlfriend. I finally cut her out of my life 100% shortly after her wedding. She was a total bridezilla, and I don't miss her much. My husband really misses having her husband as a friend, so we are pretty bummed about that. But I'm happy to have control over my life again. Friends who are always happy to talk about themselves, but never once ask you how you're doing or anything engaging you to talk about yourself. Sounds like my ex-wife. Once I bought a ring for her and was going to give it to her the next time she said or did something thoughtful or caring. 9 months later I said, duck it, and gave it to her for Christmas. Was a real eye-opener to keep waiting on a moment that never came. Dumby head didn't care about nothing but herself. They don't ask about you, they just turn every conversation about themselves. When you talk about exams, they don't ask you how you did. They just talk about themselves. When you talk about not sleeping, well, they talk about how they didn't sleep. When you tell them you broke up with your significant other, they talk about their significant other, etc. Some people think that is how you show empathy, by showing you have similar problems. It becomes a real problem when they combine it with being a topper. I slept awful last night. Woke up at 3 and just gave up. Ugh, me too. I never did fall asleep and I just laid on the couch all night. Good vibes only friends. That mentality is fine to have with yourself, but you can't force that on others. My best friend adopted this attitude, and from then on, whenever I would come to her for support or advice on an issue I was having, she'd cut me off and say, good vibes only, remember? Because I was bringing her down. I put up with it for a long time because I thought she was right, that I was burdening her. But then I finally realized that that's not how real friends act. They're supposed to support and help each other. Edit. Thank you for the silver. And many people are bringing up how some people set up boundaries because they are going through something themselves and can't help someone else at the moment, or that the person will only come to them for negative things. I completely agree. Neither extreme is a healthy friendship. Friends who constantly call you for advice, but never take it and continue to involve you in their drama. If you're not going to make moves to improve your situation, stop asking me for help. Assholes. Passive-aggressive insults to other friends. I have a friend like this. She's nice sober with passive comments, but when she gets blackout drunk she says all this hurtful and personal crap to me. It's very much like she's upset/angry at me for being happy with where I'm right now. I recently got married and thought this behavior had stopped, but she tried to keep me from my husband, friends, and family on my wedding day, drunkenly grabbing at me all night and trying to physically keep me from leaving for my honeymoon. She claims she remembers none of these occurrences past or recent, and it's honestly sad because we've been friends since we were 12. I don't know how to talk to her about it. Friends that are a one-way street. I was always the one to message, call, or make plans with them. I was always the one to check up on them to see if they were okay. I always offered a helping hand and be there for them. I decided to stop to see if they would reach out to me, but we never spoke to me again. Oh well. I always did this for my one particular friend and thought, why can't you just love me back? This relationship was very hard. Last I heard from her, I drove 4 hours out of my way to hang out with her, and she never asked how I was doing since. I'm better off without her, but she's in my friend group. They never say anything supportive of you, but they will point out your flaws and can't wait to burn you because it's funny to them. And then the follow up, you're too sensitive. I'm just joking. Lol, I was just teasing. Is that why another friend felt uncomfortable when you said it, and another told me, are you okay with that? I'm joking, I'm just teasing, is just an excuse to be an asshole and act like crap and get away with it. Roasting is awesome, but there's a time and place for it, and it's immediately overpowered by love. You don't put a friend down for your own amusement and then leave them in the gutter, making them wonder if you are even a friend. This is subtle and a bit counterintuitive, but beware of the rescuer martyr. The person that's always rushing out to help and give everyone else their all, whether or not it's needed, or whether the recipient is comfortable with it. They are good people, very well intentioned, and saintly in their generosity with their time and energy. However, sometimes it goes to the extreme, and then it's more a symptom of a toxic cycle, where they only get meaning and self-worth when they are saving someone, or maybe they keep swooping into other people's lives to fix things in hopes that someone will do the same for them. They may have good intentions, but they tend not to have good boundaries. They get over involved in your life, take on way too much, and make everyone's problems their own. They end up overwhelmed, mired in drama, and resentful. And then they become the martyr. The problem with being friends with this type of person is that you're not in an equal friendship where you like each other, enjoy spending time with each other, and when they happen to be down, you support each other through them. It's more like you're a project. Everyone's a project, and once you stop being a project, you're now support, not just for them and their own problems, but part of the fire brigade for their other projects, which they've internalized as their own problems and drama. This is kind of me, and I don't do it to consciously be a savior. I just can't help fixing stuff. If your cabinet door squeaks, I want to fix it. If your gas cap is stuck, I want to fix it. Messy closet, I'll organize it. Low self-esteem, I got you fam. Struggling at work, I'm here to coach you through it. I don't expect thanks or adoration or anything like that. All my reward is internal. But once people don't need me, I'm a pretty boring person. I don't know what to talk about or what to do anymore. Not cool. I've been single for like 8 years because I know this isn't a healthy way to have a relationship, obviously, from past experience, but I just don't know how to not be this way. It's just so hard to not fix stuff. If you have had a friend for a long time, but you only seem to be able to talk about memories in the past, each time you get together or exchange messages, it's remember in high school, or remember that time when, could be a sign that you both have grown apart and do not have much in common today that you can connect on. Edit. Thanks for the great responses. I'm old and not used to so many great comments. Is it ridiculous to thank people for comments? Yes, probably. I digress. I should have clarified. I mentioned below that fondly reminiscing about the past crazy stories, inside jokes, those are the foundation of any solid long-term friendship. It's when that is only the extent of your communication that I think it becomes a red flag. I look at it from this perspective. If you were to have an intimate discussion on your future hopes, goals, or just confiding in each other, would it feel forced, awkward, or just unnatural? If so, it's likely because you both can't relate to one another. That's when I think it's a red flag. OP's question is great. It's a red flag that most people ignore because it doesn't seem like a red flag until you really analyze and think about the depth of the conversation you are consistently having. I have a friend who does this, except they have become wild exaggerations to the point they are no longer true. I don't think it is necessarily a bad thing or a red flag though. My best friend and I see each other maybe twice or thrice a year, even though we live half an hour by train. We occasionally write or send us a couple of things maybe once or twice a week. We don't really have much in common today. We don't know much about what's going on in the other's life either. But yes, the past connects us. We ask each other for comfort and advice. We reminisce about old days a lot. And when we meet, we talk as if the other person was never gone. We surely aren't that close anymore. We have grown apart. But we are still there for each other. Of course, it can apply as a red flag though. Just saying it doesn't have to be all bad. Here are my thoughts about what would be considered a red flag in a relationship. If you see a friend walking towards you while waving a red flag, run for the hills. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe and turn on the bell or you'll be running on fumes. See you in the next video.